a regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking and talk to me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, champion. I'm a team. If you talking and talk to me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, champion.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to YSN Live for this Tuesday, the 18th of February, 2025. DJ Yoakley, Anthony Hartwig with you for this beautiful Tuesday, this
Cold,
potentially
but beautiful.
Elimination Tuesday. Anthony,
Yes.
or
Yes,
the beat goes on Tuesday.
we have district semifinals tonight. You know, this is when you get into the championship round. This is when you kind of decide, are you going to compete for a championship or not? You know,
Oh, this is when you decide?
this is when you decide. If you haven't decided yet, you're going to decide in the semifinals. Right?
You
know?
might want to decide a little bit before this. I
No.
mean, you might be running a little bit late.
You already won a championship before that. You got the sectional, you got that check marked, and okay, let's go get another one. Let's go get district.
Can you imagine a team that just walks in and they're like, you know what, we made it to the district semis. Let's go get it one.
We're just happy to be here.
We're just here for the cheese curds.
We won one game. We're happy to be here.
Okay. I mean, we have a great show for you today.
We do.
We have a great show. Joe Bornemis going to join us. Hopefully here in shortly. We have Josh Scott. Oh, there he is right there, as a matter of fact. We have Josh Scott joining us as well at the 12:20 mark, thereabouts. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we bring in the head coach of the NE8 champion, Girard Lady Indians, who tonight will be going back to the Thriller Dome to take on South Range for the third time this year. Ladies and gentlemen, a friend of the program, a friend of all of ours, and a guy that we love so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Joe Bornemis. Coach, how are you?
What's up, guys? How are you today?
We're great, Coach. Good to see you. Congratulations on all your success.
You guys got this place going to be packed up tonight. I know. You probably got the police bringing people in. You probably got the Dairy Queens, the restaurants closed. You probably got the whole city down. That's okay, man. That's okay.
You know how we roll.
I get it. Doing good, guys. Doing good.
Hey,
good to see you, Coach.
The Thriller Dome's not the Thriller Dome without a thrilling crowd, right? I mean, come on.
I know it.
Let's start right at the top. I mean, news to me. I was doing the head scratching yesterday when Anthony's trying to describe why it's at the Thriller Dome, why it's at South Range High School. Explain to me your feelings and your kind of like, we won the NE8, but why? I mean, did you knew that going into that? Obviously, we're more well read than I am. But like, is that a frustrating thing that you're a championship team and now you're Road Warriors?
Well, you know what, DJ, what had happened is we had to have all the voting, all the counts in on Friday, and we ended up playing South Range on Saturday. So even with beating them at our place, it didn't matter to us because, you know, the Max Preps had us set where we were at. Now, would we have jumped ahead of them if we could have had the voting in on Saturday? Maybe. You know, it's hard saying, but that's one of the reasons why it kind of ended up, you know, those slots like that. We didn't have that game in, and we had to have everything in on that Friday.
And at that time, they were both tied, by the way. So at that time, they were both tied in the conference. It was that Saturday matchup was pretty much a first place matchup. Girard won it, but like he said, the votes and the counts were already in. Coach, I want to take us back to the start-ish of the season. You and I were talking. I think we were at Mineral Ridge, and you called it. You said this year the NE8 is going to be a little bit bonkers. The winner could have 3 losses, and here you are, NE8 champions, and you nailed it like the dart with the bullseye. 3 conference losses. You win the NE8, a very topsy-turvy NE8. You have to navigate, you know, a conference that everyone can beat everyone in any given night. Talk about going through this conference season and how much more rewarding it is to come out on top of it.
It's very exciting. It could have been tied with 5 losses. If we get beat by Lakeview, we got to beat Hubbard, and then it gets down to Poland. So it could have been tied with a couple teams with 5 losses actually. So I knew it. I knew it going into this year. I just knew the new coaches coming in. I knew what kids were coming back. I just knew it was going to be a very, very competitive league. And any night, and as you've seen, anything could happen, anything at all.
Did you feel like kind of a flight pilot? When you get on, this is your captain speaking. There's going to be a little turbulence throughout the year, but if you just hang on, we're going to get there, and we'll be wearing the crown when all the push comes to shove.
We really felt good about ourselves, after we won up at Lakeview. That was a big win for us. It's very hard to play up there, smaller gym. When the girls came out with that one, we started feeling pretty good about ourselves. That was a big win for us there.
Coach, one of the big reasons why you were able to come out on top was the offensive 3-headed monster that you have that's so hard to defend. If people want to take away Mackenzie White, hey, you got Kaylee Wilkes. If people want to take away her, you got Allie Gassman. If people want to take away Gassman, you got both of those girls. What's it been like to see those 3, especially on offense, succeed as much as they have this year? And then what's it been like to see the whole team on defense really just locked down, especially down the stretch of the season?
Those 3 have been catalysts for us all year. I mean, there's no hiding them. They just got a nose for the rim. And then you throw in Mac, how she offensive rebounds. That even helps her game out a lot more. When we went to Southeast, we played 8 girls. And what's nice right about now is even those 3 girls were pulling off the bench, the Ivory Hewitts, the Jess Hansons, the Gianna Saxons. Ivory came in and gave us 8 points against Southeast. Saxon gave us a couple good buckets. Hanson's all over the place defensively. When you're playing with 8 girls mixing in, and then the style that we play and giving those girls a blow defensively or offensively, and we really didn't lose a step against Southeast. That shows the measure of how we practice, and how those girls, we don't say you're competing for quarters. At Girard, they compete for minutes. Any minutes, whatever it is, a minute, 45 seconds, they know they got to go in and give us everything they got. Defensively, I think that's key to it. When we can give those breaks, especially with our pressure, even when we back up into half court, we're still trapping, we're still doing, anything we can to turn the ball over or create quick shots. And with Coach Foster, he just locks them in, and gets us in a plan where we try to follow that. We told the girls when we got into that Lakeview game, I told them one word. I said, you know what? And you can ask any of them. I said, we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it very simple. We're not going to get crazy and over going different things and different routes with different things. We're just going to keep it simple and do what we do.
That's incredible. I mean, you just stole my next question, was going to be, what's your calling card for this year? You've got franchise players, you've got playmakers, you got grinders, you got up and comers. To get a group like this to gel over the course of a year, you'd love to have these kids for all of them for 4 years. You know what I mean? All the way through just one team. But to get that kind of charismatic, that riz, so to speak, that these kids have nowadays, to get it all to flow together, what does it take for a coach to get it so quickly, to kind of be in the lab and to make sure that this thing is a good product out on the floor, a championship quality and caliber product that you put out this year?
Well, we have to stick to our guns as coaches. We lay it on the line, starting from last year, of how we were going to play, how we were going to condition, how we were going to lift, how we were going to do bands, we had a plan put in place. And I really think, with playing Wilkes and playing Hewitt, Ivory, and playing Schubert as freshmen last year, they're experienced dogs out there now, man. They are, and they're only sophomores, but playing a full schedule last year and knowing what our program expects. These girls, we can start practice tonight, and for the first 20 minutes, I don't have to say a word. I mean, I put on 20 minutes on the clock, and I really don't have to say much. They just know what to go to, what to go to, what to go to, what to go to. And that's the kind of system we're trying to build. And that happens through our 7th grade up. So they kind of know, what to expect when they hit that freshman level.
It was the end of that question was a perfect segue. I want to know kind of how you're doing with the youth. I mean, this is your 2nd year as a head coach. You're starting to build the program the way you want it. What kind of developments are you seeing in junior high and even lower that make you really optimistic for even the future of Girard?
Well, first of all, they got to kind of do what we're doing. We want to make sure they understand what our calls are. That's very important. It might sound silly, but Coach Foster and myself aren't going to change our calls. Our calls are what they are, offensively and defense. So that's the first thing. They have to know. They might not do it as well, but they know what we're talking about when they're sitting in the stands. They know what a 22 is. They know what a 1-3-1 thumbs ups is. They know what our circle is. They know what our circle slips are. They know all our offensive and defensive calls. And that's very important. Like I said, they may not do it as well, but they're still learning it.
You talk about learning. I mean, the girls are expected to learn from you. But I guess one question I like asking coaches is, what's one thing or two things that you've learned from this group of your team, this group of ladies, that you're going to take for the rest of your days?
Well, coaching girls, I've coached both. And I had some success at Matthews with that program over there with the girls. And then I jumped back with the boys. I've learned with girls, first of all, they're hard workers. Second of all, they play through pain. When they get hurt, they play. And third of all, you got to be a good listener. There's so many more things going on with girls in their lives nowadays. And, there's things just going on outside of the basketball court. And, life lessons are very important, that you just become a good listener. Either a one-on-one thing or, with the kids as a group. But I've learned, that listening is very important when you're coaching the young ladies.
Coach, my last question for you is kind of a preview of tonight. That's kind of one of the reasons why we brought you on. We wanted to hear from you about this matchup, trying to beat a team a 3rd time of the year, going on the road to do so. What are some of the keys to victory tonight? What are some of the mindsets that you think you're going to bring into this South Range game?
It's no secrets with me and Coach Jeff. I've watched so much film, it's almost like I coach with him. I mean, I've watched so much film of him, and I'm sure he's the same way. It's going to be more of a chess match tonight with him and I. He knows what we do. We know what he does. He's going to try to do to us what he thinks the best thing is to force us into bad situations. And, we're going to do the same thing against him. We just got to make sure we stay to our plan and do the things that we do correctly. I had a small interview with the Tribune last night, and I told him if Brooke Perry and Mackenzie White can rebound like they should, and we can get the ball out and run a little bit, I think it'll give us a chance in the 4th quarter. But Coach Jeff's going to be ready. Our girls are excited. They just like playing on the road. I don't know what it is. I mean, they are very good. For how young they are, they really adapt and handle things well in environments. And I speak highly of that because it's hard. It is hard when you're a young girl and you're going out and it's loud like at Lakeview and you got to stay focused with me on what I'm trying to coach out there. And they have really proved themselves that they're road warriors, and they're very excited about tonight. We're excited. We got to thank, the rest of those Struthers and Poland had great years this year. Hubbard's still in it. Niles is still in it. Lakeview's still in it. We're still in it. South Range. So I want to say congratulations and good luck to all other NE8 teams, and to Nick and to Hallie over there. They just had fantastic years also.
Last question for me, Coach. There's going to be a great ticket tonight, no matter which team ends up on the favored side of the scoreboard. If you had one ticket to any event from history, in the future, the present, what would it be and why?
We talking athletics or anything?
Anything.
I probably would take my wife somewhere, somewhere nice after the season. She does a lot for our team. The girls love her. If we can have a ticket to spend a weekend somewhere, I think that would be really cool.
I love it. Coach, thank you so much. We're emptying the buses right now as we speak to South Range High School with all the burgundy and gold. We will see you tonight. Excited to see you, Coach. Thank you so much for stopping by here, and best of luck tonight and moving forward in the tournament.
And guys, before I leave, I just want to say thank you to you guys. You guys are class act, man. I'm telling you, back in the 80s, way back when I played, we didn't have anything. This is so exciting for these girls to have this kind of opportunity and this kind of coverage with you guys. Hats off to you guys, man. You do a hell of a job.
Thanks, Coach B. We appreciate you. You didn't have to say all. I mean, we're not really emptying buses. So you didn't have to lie to cover it.
Hey, just have room for our 4 we're bringing down. No. I mean 4 buses.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.
There he goes, Coach Bornemis. Man, how fun is he? And how
so
exciting
fun.
is this game is going to be so great tonight. Breaking news, by the way, we will have it on YSN. So excited. Yours truly gets the call. It's called being the boss. That's cherry picking my game tonight. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be an electric atmosphere. I mean, we're not Gerard, calm down. We're not really bringing in buses of people.
South Range might, but it won't be our doing.
Yep.
I think so you're going to see a lot of pink tonight. It won't be a lot of burgundy and gold. The theme tonight is pink.
Is that what it is?
That's what they're going with.
For who? South Range?
South Range. Their student section Instagram tweeted out that the theme tonight is pink. And I think that's probably what the girls chose. So you'll be seeing a lot of pink in the stands.
But there wasn't much white. I don't know. I mean, we never had themes. The theme was get the hell to the game. That was the theme.
Themes came after I was a student. By
any means necessary, get to the game. Doesn't matter what you wear. We don't care. You had to have clothing on. That was one prerequisite. But get to the game. Speaking of get to the game, we have our second interview coming up, Anthony, of the show today of YSN Live. And let me tell you something. This is a guy that has been in our corner since day one. This is a guy that has been chasing championships since day one. This is a guy that has cared about student athletes since day one. This is a guy that's kept it in the family since day one. This is a guy that's continued to just wrap his arms around the community at Heartland Christian and additionally jobs and opportunity at Heartland Christian. And his latest opportunity that he's grabbed for Heartland Christian is becoming a member of a conference. And oh, by the way, Anthony, winning their first ever conference championship in school history this past weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we are brought in by Josh Scott. Coach Scott, atta baby, way to bring the conference home, buddy.
Hey, thanks, man. That was quite the intro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're known for here, but you've got, that's quite the resume to have to read that intro. Some people, it's one-liners, right? Buddy, You're building on that resume continuously. Talk to me. We had you on when you joined the conference in the OVAC this past weekend. What was that like for you? I mean, this was your brainchild. This was an opportunity that you took for the school as the athletic director. And then to be able to be in that huddle, that picture for the first conference championship. What was all that like?
It was special. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's, I took a big leap of faith, no pun intended here at the school, at a Christian school, but I just felt in my heart that the kids needed a level playing field with everyone else in the area. And that means just having opportunity and not just playing games just to play games and, again, glorifying God like we try to do every single day. That's always a big part of it. But our kids needed an opportunity to be all conference, to play for a league title. And our volleyball team almost got it done too. They made the championship this year and lost a tough one to Conotton Valley in the fall. So we talked to our kids about, this is an opportunity like we had a few years ago to win the first ever state tournament game here at the school. It's just not an opportunity that comes around. It's very often. And we told our kids, like, this is something that you can do and you can talk about it forever. 40 years down the road, if we can accomplish this, it's something you're going to remember forever. And I think they will. The experience down there, the way that OVAC puts on that event, an all-day championship, watching those games. I believe all the games were close and competitive. The intros, the boards. I mean, I've got the championship board. This thing's a monster. I don't even know where we would fit it in our school. They really did it up, and we're just proud to be part of it. I mean, it's really special for us as a school.
Coach, every year before this season, the whole season was pretty much get ready for the tournament. Every game, make yourself better, get ready for postseason. Yep. What has it been like this year where you now have an obtainable goal before the state tournament even starts, where you can say, hey, we have this goal to check first. We want to win a conference. What has that been like to keep the kids motivated in that way? And what kind of differences have you seen in kind of the day-to-day routines and practices and games from your players?
We've been using the term lock in this year. We need to be locked in. And I think that's something that we're trying to tell the kids. Every single game matters now. You're putting it out on a resume, not just for the state tournament and for rankings and everything else, but for the league. And we had games that actually did matter more in terms of points for our average, where we in the standings of the league and everything else too. So it was new and different, but I think it excited the kids. They were able to truly lock in on that game and say, hey, this one here is, potentially worth X amount of points. I don't know that they fully understood it. I kept kind of beating it into their heads that, like, hey, this is the opportunity we have in front of us, playing in a big Salem or Youngstown East or whatever. And those games are, they're worth more to us as a conference team because of their size and everything and how they factor in their points. But it's been refreshing to be able to not just have to try to find ways to motivate kids just on the terms of just, hey, we got to get better today.
I think one of the things I love the most, and I say this about a lot of teams, but Josh, you specifically, you never back down from a fight. You will play a team any place, anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter. South Range, a perfect example last night. You guys will play anybody because you firmly believe that playing better teams makes you a better team in the end, correct?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's, it's something we've definitely tried to do. I mean, you've seen West Branch, Minerva, Salem, we've had a really good relationship with them. I'm sure we'll keep it up for next year too. And, Range was a good one. It was tough. It was our third game in 5 days. But our kids came out, and even though they might've been a step slower or whatever, because of the circumstances, they fought, and they just don't back down. And I think that's all from the fact that we go and see some of these bigger schools and top-notch competition. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think we're all on board with that we don't want to shy away from competition and just, make a schedule that's just based around our best chance to win. It's our best chance to get better and be our best at the end.
Hey, nobody last night is going to tell you that your kids didn't play hard or that their legs were gone, because that first half of basketball, if anybody was able to watch it last night on YSN or you were in the gym, I've never seen a game like that it was just constant up and down the floor, shooting. I mean, was that part of the game plan, or was it just at one point you just kind of threw the game plan away and said, all right, let's just go play some street yard basketball and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean that one. That was a pickup game late. I believe they lost Louisville, and we had lost Valley from West Virginia. We both had lost a game, and we kind of talked about it ahead of time. It didn't go exactly how we kind of talked it through, but it mostly turned into just competitive juices going in our kids. That's just who they are. Our kids are competitors. They want to go out and be excellent every day. And I think you saw that, because even before we're like, man, maybe we'll just not be ourselves and play some zone and walk it up and do those things. And I couldn't hold them back. I mean, even myself, as we started getting going, and kudos to Range, they shot lights out. They hit 11 threes in the first half. I mean, I told our kids that, if the team's going to do that, you just tip your cap to them, and hey, you were the better team for that night, and that's okay. But I do think that we have a lot to be proud about with our kids on, how they never stop. And that's if I'm never the guy that's just going to completely talk our team up all the time. I get called Lou Holtz a lot by a lot of different people, but I will never fault. I'll never not talk about how proud I am for their effort, because they're always going to work hard.
Great effort.
Coach, you celebrated OVAC, and now the attention kind of turns into the tournament and the bracket that you're in. Talk about kind of the outlook and what you think, your initial thoughts of the bracket you're in, and what kind of things you think would take to win this district.
We're gonna have to be playing our best basketball. I mean, that's just bottom line. I mean, we got jumped by Elyria Open Door. They were the 16 seed. They had other places they could have went, but they chose our game round one. And we're trying to get our kids to understand that they're a good basketball team. Their record doesn't reflect that, but they like us play a monstrous schedule each year. So they've played some really good teams. They've played teams that we've played just as close as us. So if we're not playing our best basketball, it could be a one and done, and we understand that. So this whole week is just prep for them and trying to get our minds right and our bodies right. This was a really tough stretch of basketball that we just had. I mean, Wood County Christian, even though the score doesn't fully indicate how hard we had to play to get it to where it was, our kids sold out for that game. And then we used, like I told them in the interview down at the OVAC, was every last ounce of energy that we had, we put into that Frontier game. It took everything we had to sneak out a win and get a championship. And, a lot of people don't fully realize how hard those things are to do. And just to win games in high school sports, I mean, to win games and have some sort of consistency, it's extremely difficult. And it takes just an extra gear and extra effort and extra focus. And, now it's just tenfold come tournament. I mean, you have to be playing your best basketball, and, we're hoping that we have the kids in that mode, and that we, what we've been working on all season long is going to come to fruition. And, that's what makes the tournament crazy. It's March Madness for a reason. I know it's February still, but they call it that for a reason. And, anything could happen.
Josh, it's just us. Okay. Nobody's watching. So this next question, I gotta ask, because you're one of the bigger competitors that I know.
Okay.
And as you're talking about that, a team jumps you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there in the bracket, minding your own business, just doing I don't know what you do during the draw. But I'm imagining you're sitting there eating popcorn. You're already in there, and then somebody jumps you, right? Tell me that doesn't drive you crazy and like, oh, you want a piece of this, huh? Okay, like I know you got to do a job here. You've got to wear one of your hats. That your GM, your AD, your coach, your dad, all that. That's still gonna drive you freaking bananas, does it not?
Yeah, the first reaction was sitting back in my chair and just like, okay, all right. So the very next day when we had practice, I went in and told the kids, hey, they jumped you for a reason, and they think that, and they believe that they're going to beat you, and they wouldn't do that if they wouldn't jump you if they didn't fully believe that. So, of course, that's extra motivation for all of us. I mean, it's something that, if you don't get the juices flowing after seeing that, then you're just, then what are we doing? I mean, this is sport. This is the competitive arena. And, again, we're always here to build character and disciple kids first. But when those things come about, like absolutely, I'm excited at the opportunity to take advantage of that situation and say, hey, come on down, let's play.
Atta baby. That's exactly what I wanted from you.
Coach, you've been coaching for a while and you've had different kids, different players come in and they've all kind of brought their own personality into the group. What do you think this team has been unique about it? What do you think the personality and the kind of leadership about this team, what's unique about it in your eyes? What makes it kind of a little bit different than other teams that you've had?
You know what? We were written off early in the year, going into the season. I think people thought that we would be okay. But when we lost Walker and Morgan and Rarick and another Walker and Streetfler, we lost 5 different seniors. Seth Walker transferred out to Canfield. We lost him. So we lost 6 guys, all varsity basketball players. So I think a lot of people thought, oh, they're going to take a step back. And these kids are young, they're hungry, and had a chip on their shoulder all season long about we want to make our own mark. And that wasn't just a flash in the pan last year, that we're going to come in and we're going to follow that up with something even better. And I told our kids all along with a potential league title on the line, an opportunity to, we snuck into that 4 seed. Everything that we could ever ask for in terms of lofty goals is still right in front of us. We've accomplished half of that, and everything we could ask for is still right in front of us. So I mean, I'm just proud at our resiliency, our determination, the grit. I mean, I think this team is really gritty. They don't back down. We are young, so we go through like ebbs and flows of the highs and lows that come with being young and not being able to kind of stay level all the time mentally. But man, when they do it right, this group, the sky's the limit. So I think that's what makes it special. Like last year, we were definitely very dependent on the 3 shot. I think we made 247 or 243 or something. It's somewhere on the state. Like we were top 20 all time in the state of Ohio, and we were heavily dependent on that this year. I looked the other day and like we're like 170 after maybe 20 games or whatever it is. So, we don't rely so much on one thing. I think we're a little bit more multidimensional, and we have guys that can get to the rim. And, I think we may even be a little bit more well-rounded defensively at times. So, that's what's made all of those things is what made this year special. I mean, it's just when most of the people from the outside just kind of go, they lost a lot and I'm sure they'll be okay. We've heard those things. But that's also what's driven our kids too. So,
buddy, you've done everything very presidential. I mean, very like understanding. These kids come in, they understand. I shouldn't say kids. These young athletes come in, they understand who they're representing. Obviously, the school and all the principles that you teach there at Heartland Christian. But what has impressed me beyond belief is the cabinet that you've surrounded yourself with, the staff that you have on that bench. Man, it was a who's who last night as I'm looking down and I'm like, wow. Oh, and by the way, thanks for looking up and saying hi. That was, I reran that moment in my head about 800 times on the way home. And Chris sent me a message this morning as well. So just for you guys to be able to acknowledge me in that moment of, hey, we're locked in. It was so cool. Super cool. I mean, I was starstruck almost, and I'm not even exaggerating. It was so neat.
I don't know if you could say that. I was starstruck to be able to look up at you guys. I mean, again, what you guys have done for sport, it's unprecedented. It's appreciated across the board. I know Coach B just, mentioned it too, but we all feel that way. I mean, what you've been able to do to showcase our kids and give them so many opportunities that none of us had, it's special, man. We can't say thank you enough for all that.
Okay, thank you for that. We appreciate that. This isn't about us. Yeah. This is about you. Okay, so let's not flip the script. Let's talk about that cabinet that you have around you, that coaching staff, because I know each and every one of those people means so much to you in a special way, because you know that they're in it for those young men and those young ladies inside that school. What makes up your staff and why?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, Pops, my dad. he's been with me every step of the way. So that one goes without saying. I mean, he's phenomenal with the kids. He's a guy that just relates to kids and can get the best out of them. He's a motivator. And, Josh Zamuda, coaching our JV team, he's played for us. Ronnie Matthews, who's still sticking around and doing junior high and then coming to all the varsity games. He played for us here. Josh played for us at Sebring. They're guys that have seen firsthand what we feel is important and how we feel like we need to run our programs. So, and then getting Coach K, getting Cadvan, I've been trying for, I don't know how many years now. This is year 6 at Heartland. I've probably been trying to get him all along. And Coach Lib too. I mean, Coach Lib's coaching the girls and still coming and sitting the bench for our games too. So, I mean, and he doesn't have to. He could claim to be too busy because he is, and he still finds ways to come in and impact kids. But Coach Cadvan, the most recent addition, he coached here for 1 year with the girls. I've been begging him for I don't know how long. He's been kind of behind the scenes the last couple years with film, but he's a guy that there's a couple wins this year that we've walked away. My pops and I have said we don't win that game without Coach K's help and what he's brought to the table. And we try to like for me, I don't look at this as like a dictatorship. I look at it like this is a true team effort. And even in practice time, each one of those guys has opportunities that it's their time. It's their time to go over defense or blobs or whatever it is that they have to do. So their impact, I would like to think, is probably a little greater than some others in other places. But I mean, I know that because I see it firsthand. But all of these guys care about kids, and that's really, that's it. We're not going to bring in anybody that if we didn't feel that was the number one goal for them is they care about kids. None of us have kids here. It's all about Heartland and about kids.
The OG Coach K. Don't let anyone tell you different, right?
The OG Coach K.
He likes candy bars. I know that.
Coach, yeah. I want my last question for you. I want you to go back in your memory banks because we've seen a lot of thrilling finishes over the weekend, and I know you've seen a lot of thrilling finishes as the coach at Heartland Christian over the last 6 years, and a lot of them have been on YSN. Is there any last second win, thrilling win that kind of sticks out to you that is the most memorable that you've had as a head coach?
Man, I don't know that I could pick one, but you're right. There's so many. I mean, this one winning the championship close and watching our young kids play like seniors was extremely special. It's probably up there with any of them because Frontier was a good team. It's a team that we didn't even know anything about outside of just trying to get a little bit of film. They play a different brand of basketball down there on the river and down south. I mean, it was basically a clash of two different, completely different styles of basketball. But I think back of Drew Galt hitting a 3 at the buzzer to beat Badger in Cleveland at I was almost going to say the Gund Arena. It dates me, but at Rocket Mortgage, I think of JB and the 3-pointer he hit here at home to beat JFK and the steal layup against Crestview and the Brookfield win. I think the Brookfield win in the sectional finals here when everybody went after Vertovich and Nate Garzanich makes a great pass to Stephen Barnes and he gets an and one layup, makes the free throw and Joel Morgan comes down and just clamps down. Joel Morgan, who was 5'0", just comes down and clamps down defensively on their guys and gets a stop and wins us a sectional title for the first time ever. I mean, there's just so many different memories here that I've been blessed to get to be a part of and just witness from the sideline. It's been honestly just a special experience, but to be able to just pick one, I don't know that I could do that.
All right. So you're not going to answer questions straight ahead. I'll give you one you have to answer straight ahead. Okay. It's Josh Scott's jukebox time. And you've got 3 songs that you have to put on the jukebox that will always be in there. And one song that'll never touch your jukebox. You'll never find it at Coach Scott's
3 songs
playing at the Gund Arena apparently.
At the Gun? I wouldn't play it at the Gun.
Wouldn't 3 that you would and 1 that you wouldn't?
You know what? It would probably be some kids song that I sing with my kids. I don't know. They love. Man, you're putting me on the spot to think of music. this time of year, the only music I hear is warm-up music. So honestly, I'd probably pick anything that DJ JP Morgan plays for us to warm up. I know the big one has been 10K by KB. That's a fan favorite. And what is the Die with a Smile is my kid's current jam by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. So I mean, that's one that we like to sing together. But anything that I could do with my kids, they love to sing on the way to school and that kind of thing. So that's probably outside of warm up music and getting a quick song and going to school and dropping them off. That's probably the only time I'm listening to music. Any other time it's on the phone with a coach or another AD. But a song that I wouldn't play at the Gund Arena. Oh man. I don't know that I have one that I just wouldn't play. I'm trying to think it through. You're putting me right on the spot, but
that's crazy. Usually the one that you wouldn't play comes first because people are like, I hate that song.
I feel like I have those, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to music, I know it's going to be a shock to you, but I really don't have like I listen to everything. I don't care, I don't, but from rap to country to whatever, if it sounds good to me, to Christian, to Christian gospel, I listen to everything. There's probably some really twangy country songs that I would probably keep off of that. If I'm choosing, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. You're going to have to ask me another one. What's more direct than that? Is there another direct question that you can ask me?
What's your favorite episode of Bluey?
My favorite episode of Bluey. What's it called when Bingo falls asleep and is dreaming and he goes to the moon and mom's kind of...
Oh, that's a tearjerker, dude.
It's a tearjerker, man, but I love it. I mean, it's a special episode. Yeah.
Did you honestly think that you were going to come on the show and we were going to talk Bluey?
With you guys, I never know what to expect. That's what makes it fun.
Coach, we appreciate you.
I was prepping for Coach Bordemus like answer for taking my family somewhere.
Yeah, see, I saw your little head pop up in the bottom. And I was like, he's taking notes. He's ready to go.
What a great answer. What a great answer, because our families, and I'll add to that, our families take such a hit over the course of the season, and we lose time with kids. I was actually talking to Coach K, the original OG Coach K, about that. And, he's kind of had to pick and choose when he's coming as an assistant because, Claire and Elliot are young, just like JJ and Josie. And, and Coach Z just had a baby too. So everyone's in this boat of we're trying to, figure this out. Yeah. Nicholas in November, he's navigating through a basketball season as a brand new dad. So, but yeah, I mean, all those, when my daughter looks up with those big puppy eyes and is all sad that I have to walk out, and I know Coach K's dealing that with Claire and I'm dealing with Josie, and it's hard to walk away from your family to come in and do these things, but they know it's important and they know why we're doing it. And I think at the end of the day, I hope years down the road they're gonna understand that the hope is that we've made a big enough impact, and they're here being ball boy and ball girl, and they're here practice and they're getting to experience things. But yeah, if you would have asked me that, I would have said I would have taken my ticket to vacation and
you don't get to answer Coach B's questions. You get your own questions that you can't answer.
He found a way to just answer it without even it being asked.
Your kids aren't puppy-eyed because because you're leaving. I'm sure they are, but they're puppy-eyed because you're putting tear-jerking Bluey episodes on, dude.
Let's watch this episode of Bluey real quick.
There's 99% of Bluey episodes are awesome and great, and then there's the one that's like you're going to cry your eyes out because of traumatic stress from your childhood, and that's the one you got on rewatch. Come on, Josh. I love you, buddy.
Just appreciate that as a parent, though, huh?
I love you, buddy. You mean the world to me. I'm grateful for you. Congratulations on the conference championship. All your success.
Thank you.
Continued, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Scott. See you, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Guys. We'll see.
Those are this is what I love about what we do is we can have those real moments.
Right.
Like I'm at the very interesting level, right? Because I a lot of these coaches I can connect with because we're in the same stages of life. Mm-hmm. That's why when you ask a question like he couldn't answer the jukebox question. Josh, God love him, because he does listen to a lot of music. I do know that. But as soon as I say, what's your favorite Bluey episode? It was like he cheated. It was on the top of his head. He was like, bam, there it is. And it's the worst one. Like, worst as in, like, if you're going somewhere in the next 25 minutes, don't watch that episode because your eyes are going to be all puffy and red and there's dust in the. You're going to cry. Okay. And it's okay. It's all right. Part of being strong is knowing you can cry and be strong. However, I do feel like a big puffy little girl whenever I watch that episode and I'm crying. I do. And he knows it. And I think like that was loaded in the chamber, just waiting for him.
He was waiting.
He was waiting. Like, I don't know if he and my wife are in cahoots or what, but that's like the one that I'm like, what? Like out of all the episodes, like 5 seasons of Bluey, he picks the one. It's unbelievable. But one of my favorite people to interview. Like I said, he's been in our corner since day one. Anything we need, he's always willing to do. And he jumped on here last second, talking about it last night. I didn't even think about when we booked him that I was going to watch his game last night. But Anthony, I'm not kidding you. There's something about being in a gym and coaches and people. And listen, we're not trying to take the spotlight ever. Like, we don't want it. We don't like it. Our job is to put the kids, the communities, the coaches on a platform and then stream it out. But man, it is cool whenever we're recognized, right? It's kind of neat. Like it's almost like what they know who I am kind of thing. And I know you experience that a lot too. And there's a lot of humility that has to come with that because you can get a bigger head, but it's also a situation like, wow, like this is weird. Like people you don't know, haven't necessarily met, but watch this show religiously, that are sending us messages like, hey, you should have this so-and-so on the show. It's cool. But like when you see, hey, it's Coach Scott, you know what I mean? Like, and he's, hey, and he's stopped, saluted me, like awesome. And then Chris Cadvan and then Pops. And then like, it's so wild to me to see that.
Especially at South Range because they have to kind of look for you because you're up in the mezzanine. It's not like they walk by you because you're on the floor. Are
you saying because I can't see over the railing? Is that why you're saying that?
No, I'm just saying they literally have to look for you at South Range. It's not, you're not walking to the gym looking up all the time. There's no reason to look up there other than, hey, I think DJ might be up there. Let's go see. I can't see over the railing either, so I can't say anything. I have to kind of.
I got to get on official. I tried to yell official last night, and I don't know if you couldn't hear me because of the music, which they've got fixed in that gym, by the way. The Thriller Dome is bumping right now. Bumping. DJ Munson DJ Sandman in the gym bumping that music. And it's a good atmosphere, man. It's electric. It was electric last night. They were hitting, dude. 53. South Range had 53 at halftime. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, 11 threes in the first half will do that. That team, when they get into a groove, they have plenty of outside shooters. Everyone talks about Luke Rowan and what he can do from beyond the arc, and that's because he's flirted with the single game record a couple of times. He has a season record, I think. He's close to the career record, but there's other guys on that team that can shoot just as well when they get stroking. I mean, Nate Lewis can really hit a lot of threes in consecutive shots when he gets going. And then when you have Graham Heikkinen down low, and I think that's been one of the pleasant surprises for South Range this year to get Graham back on the team and have him kind of replace what Landon Moore brought to that team last year, someone that could dominate inside the paint to take away the pressure from the outside shooters.
I mean, and we haven't even spoke about what Heartland Christian can do. I mean, these are some young dudes out there, and Coach talked about what he's missing. But what I loved about that interview is, these guys kind of walked away and everybody counted us out. But look, we still won the championship. We still are fighting with teams like South Range. And he named that long list of teams that they're not backing down from. You know, the schedule was made. And then you do have that late pickup with South Range because Louisville didn't work out. And the team from West Virginia didn't work out for Heartland. And it was a no-brainer. It was like, let's lock horns. Let's do this.
They could have picked anybody, but they said, you know what? Let's go into the Thriller Dome with this South Range team that is going to be probably a district contender in Division 5, 2 divisions above us. There's nothing to prove anymore. There's no more OVAC points to get. Let's just go get ready for the tournament. Like that's kind of solidifies that mentality that we're talking about with Coach Scott. Anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Incredible. Two coaches that we very, 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 very much respect on the show today. Got a little bit, some would say sideways. I like to say that we got a little candid, which I love. It's my favorite thing about some of these interviews is, yeah, we can talk to X's and O's and Jimmy's and Joe's, but let's cut it up a little bit. Let's see who these people are, outside. And obviously Coach Bornemis, loves everything that he does, the family aspect of it. We got to see that little, tidbit, and him going off script a little bit at the beginning and then off script at the end was awesome. And then obviously Coach Scott being able to see who he is, and just a dear friend, not only of the program, but me personally, my family, and everything that we've gone through. So I can't thank him enough for spending some time. But Ant, we got to get to some highlights. The Vantage Financial and YSN top plays are out for this week. You can vote on them right now. So who is it that you can vote on? Who are the 10 plays that made the cut this week on the cutting room floor? Let's find out.
YSN top plays are presented by Vantage Financial, your partner, your success.
Great ball movement there. Great ball.
Good play by Siegfried. Going to take it away. Aljancic back to Siegfried. He's going to dribble, drives, takes, shot. Nice take by Bo Siegfried.
Agent Zero making things happen on both ends there. Beautiful spin move high off the glass.
A little give and go to Sandy, but she can't finish down low. And Brungard on the run after getting the rebound. Coast to coast, back your bags. Jamaica Brungard hitting everything now. And the Tigers are back up by 3.
Shot attempt. How did he do it? How did Jalen Gunther get that in the cylinder? Somehow, some way, Gunther always finds a way.
Angel Scruggs gets it to Rowe. And the Vikings break the scoring drought. Rowe, corner 3. Money! Riley Rowe ties it at 29, and she finally finds the bottom.
25 seconds left here in the half. Rams trying to get some points for halftime. Assisted with it. And now it's going to be stolen away by Harris. Harris driving in and going in for the dunk, and it's good. The two-handed jam that time from Harris with 10 seconds left on the clock. That's now 10 points for him this half. He's also had quite a few steals here.
Brooke Perry to come up with the rebound. Then she's going to find Allie Gassman. She's going to bounce pass inside to Kaylee Wilkes. Wilkes is going to go for the 2. It's now a 39-11 game within the...
Nick Natoli ready to inbound the ball for the Bulldogs. Natoli gets it inside to Hayes. Hayes gets it to Tukalo. 8 seconds on the clock. Tukalo guarded by Nate Lewis. Tukalo can't find any room. He puts it up for 3. Oh, that's how this game away! Ryan Tukalo with the winning shot!
Rams have it in the half court. They haven't been able to do much in the half court. A lot of their points coming in transition. Sandy for 3. Sullivan Sandy! How do you open the fourth quarter with a shot like that? Oh, wow.
They pass it over to the wing. Columbiana ready to explode. Final seconds tick away, and you can clip or clap your way to the tournament. Columbiana goes undefeated in the regular season, a perfect 22-0.
So there they are, your top plays of the week, up for your vote. Oh, by the way, good luck, because there were some awesome ones in this week's, and good luck crowning a champion from those. Wow.
I mean, yeah, it starts out the back with Siegfried with a little spin move mid-range jumper. And it wasn't a spin move layup. It was well out of the key. So he has to turn around and hit this little fadeaway jumper from probably about 12 feet away from the hoop. That's a tough shot. And then you go into like Jalen Gunther and how he's able to just find the hoop anyhow against one of the best defenses in the state in Hoban. And then what about the three from Carmine Tucolo to win the NE8 pretty much against South Range? That was a tough contested look.
And then the Girard at the end, probably the play of the year. I mean, if we're just stamping things, that could be the play of the year right there at the buzzer, just a tip in.
That was a 3 to tie, send it to overtime, and then the little not at the hoop again. It was a little bit away from the hoop. He had to kind of chuck it in the air. He didn't have time to land. That's I believe. Now I'm trying to remember what Dom Phillips is one. I think Nick Rafferty hit the 3 to tie and send it to overtime, and Dom Phillips is the one that hit that buzzer beater to win the game in overtime.
I mean, if there's anything I can say about Girard, especially being a program that we've had Joe Bornemis on, they've been incredible this year. I mean, they've been spoilers. Obviously, they ruined South Range's season with that win. The loss against Poland for South Range was devastating, but they were still tied. And then you lose to Girard, and that pretty much seals the deal. That was pretty much it. And, Girard has really stepped up their game this year. I don't think that they're getting necessarily the recognition that they deserve for the year that they've had, wins and losses aside, which I know when you're, judging a season, that's a lot that goes into it. But I mean, if you look at what they've been able to do and some of the players that have stepped up in big time spots, geez Louise, Anthony, like we're talking about the Indians being the tribal chiefs, so to speak, of being crowned the players of the year. I mean, what they did on the girls' side, what they did on the boys' side. I mean, you're talking about one program, one school, one district that has been very impressive this winter.
Yeah, and then you look at just on the girls' side, the wins they had to hit down the stretch to win the NE8. It wasn't like they ended the NE8 season with a couple of games against some of the bottom teams to win the conference and shirt up. They had to win against South Range. They had to go to Lakeview, which, like Bornemis said, is a very tough place to play. It's a smaller court. Lakeview loves to play pressure defense. They compress you in that small gym. So that's a tough place to play against that team. And then you have to finish it by, welcoming in a Hubbard team that had beaten Lakeview. They'd beaten Poland earlier the year. They knew how to win against some of the top teams. So you had to welcome in Hubbard to get a win. Those were the last 3 wins that Girard had to get to win the NE8. And then they had to finish the year by going to Poland. And they got their first ever win as a member of NE8 at Poland to cap it off. They were already champions, but I felt like they wanted to validate a little bit by beating the reigning champs in their place one time.
Certainly sparked by their community, and they'll be tested tonight. I promise you, against the South Range team. And in this NE8, Ant, just as well, if not better than I, that anybody can win on any given day. Yep. The third time that these two teams have met this year. Girard 2-0 against South Range, but it is in the Thriller Dome, as we've documented very well. And it is going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl, as the other two have been. So I'm really, really excited to see this game tonight, what goes on the floor, how it materializes during the game. Halftime adjustments, with both of these teams are very, very good in making halftime adjustments to the other side. So, South Range, there's a lot of people that are going to sit there as parents, as spectators, as even people that know the program well. It wasn't streamed on Saturday. But what I can tell you is there's a lot of people telling me South Range is playing with house money right now because they shouldn't be here. That was kind of botched away down the stretch by the other side, by Triway. And new life. I mean, if you're a cat, you're on your second life right now at South Range. Maybe, you've been through the NE8, so you're probably on your 6th or 7th life at least. But Jeff Fischel is a guy that he's a riverboat gambler, man. At the end of the day, he's going to put all his chips in, and he's going to, every time I talk to him, it's not about me, man. It's about the girls. He's going to bet on his girls undoubtedly And especially against someone he's seen twice, and they know what to expect out of each other, and that's what's going to make this one so fun.
I think one of the wild cards for South Range tonight is going to be Sofia Lucente. Watching her down the stretch and getting to watch a couple of her last games of the season, I think she's found a little new confidence in finishing on those drives that she has. We saw her hit that big bucket against Austintown Fitch that gave them the lead with 2/4 seconds left after the timeout. But forget the way that ended, obviously heartbreak for South Range. That was a bucket that 9 times out of 10 you're going to remember for the rest of your life, because that's a game-winning bucket. And she's been getting a lot better at her speed's always been there, but now finishing when you get those drives to the hoop, she's getting a lot better at that. And I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. I think you got to use your speed against Girard. You got to be able to use that quickness. They're not going to really give you anything if you're not driving with intensity. So, and they're probably going to take your outside shot away. So, they're going to key in on Gwen on the arc. They're going to try to stop CC from getting those shots from beyond the arc. So you're going to have to drive. And I think the best thing you have as a driver is Sofia Lucente with her speed.
I don't disagree. I think the wild card for me for South Range, if we're picking wild cards, is going to be Heidi Bartels. I mean, she has stepped it up the entire season. When South Range has been looking for somebody, it's been Heidi Bartels, and it's been Heidi Bartels, and it's been Heidi Bartels. And so I think she's going to have a coming out party, so to speak, tonight, where people are going to be talking about her. We're not picking a winner in this one because I've got to broadcast the game. So I don't want any more smoke from Girard.
He's Kirk Herbstreit on game day. He's not going to pick, he's calling the game. Right.
Yeah. I'm just excited to be excited because I think I'm going to lose my voice probably tonight with as much electricity is going to be in the Thriller Dome. So I'm excited for it. So
on Girard's side, I think one of the under the radar players that doesn't get talked about enough that will be a key to stopping those drives to the hoop that South Range is going to want to get is Brooke Perry. She's a great rim protector. She's a great rebounder. Mackenzie White gets a lot of publicity on her offense inside, but the defense inside, I think, is anchored by Brooke Perry. She knows how to block. We've seen that in volleyball. She's one of the best blockers in the conference in volleyball. She's going to be able to really be a rim protector tonight because South Range is going to try to drive the floor and get to the hoop that way.
Let's take a real quick look at the games at a glance tonight. Boys basketball, let the boys party first here. 7 p.m., Pymatuning Valley and Conneaut. WOW TV has the coverage of that one for us, followed by LeBray and Liberty. DK Kotzel will be back in action tonight, 7 p.m. for that. Lordstown at St. John. Sam Torres will have the call from St. John. And girls basketball, we've got a triple header for you, all sponsored, all absolutely free. We have, we have Fairview and Crestview doing battle thanks to the Crestview community. Don Pearson will have that one for us. Anthony, you will have Canton Central Catholic at Mineral Ridge thanks to American Lawn Sprinklers. So I know you're going to be excited for that in Mineral Ridge. Both games start at 7 p.m. And then I, of course, have the South Range and Girard game in the Thriller Dome. And it is brought to you thanks to the Brogan family as of right now. So we will confirm that. But I know that Kevin Brogan is he's safe travels, Kev, heading down south. So he really wants to see this game and said, hey, stop me last night. Is there any chance we can get that game on? Any chance? I said, I know a guy. I could probably make it happen. So we'll have that game for you tonight. Thanks, Kevin Brogan and the supporters of Kevin Brogan and the supporters of the South Range and Girard communities for allowing us to bring that game to you tonight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games tonight on the network that you can take a look at. And I'm going to guess, just a guess, that we're going to have some barn burners and we're going to have some games that are going to come down to final possessions here on the network tonight. Anthony, it is time for the Joe Dickey Electric. What's Your Spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. You can visit them on the web 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com. All right, pal. What sparks you today?
All right, my spark today is just like district semifinals. I know we have 3 on the network. There's a lot of them going on across the area. I want to wish the best luck to every YSN team that is in the district semifinals. Let's get as many teams to a championship as possible on Saturday. They're a little bit more staggered on Saturday, so I might get a chance to go and at least be a spectator to some of these games. You got 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So if it works out the right way, I might be able to see some of our teams fight for championships on Saturday. And I'm just wishing everyone the best of luck. If you're playing a non-YSN team, we're all for you. If you're playing a YSN team, then we can't lose, right? Either way, we're going to have someone in the championship. So let's go. Let's get to districts. Let's go on to Saturday, and let's get a team some nets to cut down.
Mine is more of a comical one. No free advertisements here on YSN, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a plug here because I've been listening to these radio commercials. I'm a huge Pittsburgh fan, so I listen to Pittsburgh Sports Talk a lot. In addition to Pat McAfee, dude, if you've never heard a Top Dog Law commercial on the radio, do yourself a favor and just Google it. Top Dog Law commercial. And there's YouTube clips of it. They are unique to say. And I know they're not trying to be funny, but they are, to me, the funniest. Like, I cackle so hard at these commercials when they're out there. You got to give it a listen. It's worth it. They are not normal advertising. You don't feel like it's normal advertising. You feel like it's a joke a little bit, but it's not. They're serious, but it's hilarious stuff. So if you ever have the chance, check out Top Dog Law, and you're welcome. By the way,
I'll have to do that for sure,
buddy. I'll send you a couple YouTube clips. If you don't laugh, I'll give you $20. I'll give you $20.
You want me to film my live reaction? That way you have proof that I didn't laugh or something?
Well, you can't lie. You're like
right,
George Washington, right?
It was GW.
Right there in my head. If you were trying to figure out what I was about to say, it was between George Washington and Peter Pan.
And it's Honest Abe. I think Abe Lincoln's the one that was known for not lying.
Well, it certainly wasn't Peter Pan, whichever way you look at it. And I don't know why that was in my head, but it was George Washington and Peter Pan. I got them both wrong. The answer is always C. So there you go.
And then, as Mr. Allegretto used to say before our test, it's never E. Mr. Allegretto from South Range. You got A, B, C, and D. It's never
You took it too far. We had a good thing going right there. I'm sure Mr. Allegretto it was hilarious in the classroom. Crushed it. You just crushed it. Momentum was just beat down. Way to go.
I'm sorry.
Way to go. Yesterday it was the Open.
I'm terrible.
Now it's the close.
I'll let myself out.
That's going to do it for YSN Live. We got another great show for you tomorrow. Do we have Wrestling Wednesday?
Talking with Gary. He's going through some stuff. So
okay.
Gary's not going to be here tomorrow.
Okay. So do we have Scotty Mincher?
We'll have Scotty.
We have Scotty. So we've got a Mincher sighting on Wednesday. And I'm sure we will cook up some other guests as well in the first portion of the show. So, Anthony, great Tuesday. Good luck tonight. Have fun.
You
Safe
too, buddy.
Travels out to Mineral Ridge. And cannot wait for more great content on ysnlive.com for all your, scores, stories, interviews, streams, obviously. What else? We got a little bit of everything.
Standings. Got standings there that Mike Swinehart does a really good job working.
You're voting of your.
Big,
we got big dogs that'll come out tomorrow morning ish. Top plays going out right now. You can vote until Sunday. So all that stuff on YSN. You only got to go one spot. I mean, if it's not your homepage, I don't know why. Go to ysnlive.com and you can go everywhere in your favorite student athletes, your favorite coaches, your favorite communities. At the right at your fingertips there. So enjoy it. That's why we build it, so you can have a good time with it. And certainly if you've got comments, you can send us comments, good, bad, indifferent, at the contact and info at ysnlive.com. But for now, that's Anthony. I'm DJ, and we'll see you tomorrow on the YSN Live for Wednesday. Peace. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network.
For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.